Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, a little boxing news, you know what I mean? We've seen recently, that a fighter could be damn near on top of the world and that can just, go away very, very quickly, right? Very quickly, to the point where obscurity is right around the corner if you mess around, being at the very top. And well, let's start with a guy, for example, that I like, Polish fighters, back all the way since Thomas Adamic. That's the one I kind of really like, light heavyweight, cruiserweight. Tried to fight heavyweight a time or two, but that's too far. But bad, skilled fighter. And then, Andre Galata, when he was trying to fight Tyson and was really beating Riddick Bowe, but kept hitting him low because he just his screws ain't tight. Going back to that, because you look at him, even when he fought, Galata fought Tyson back in the day, Mike Tyson. I'm thinking, this round one, he's up in here. And then he quit, I think, in round two or something, which he shouldn't have. He got knocked down or whatever, but he was still in the fight. This guy like that. And if you're ahead on points against Riddick Bowe, then you're a good fighter, period. I'm not talking about just 3 rounds, maybe up to round 8 or 9 and stuff like that. So Galata was somebody, but just was nuts, right? So, you start watching the Polish fighters a little bit, Funfara or whatever, stuff like that. And there's 1 or 2 I'm forgetting right now. But, the boys can fight. Now, I'm not talking Mashetsky or whatever, Malish or whatever, the one's supposed to fight Charlo now, or soon. Not him. He lost to Daniel Jacobs, Not really him so much, but the other ones. But anyway, one that I had hopes on was Adam Kownacki, right? Adam Kownacki, I know Adam Kownacki has never been skillful, but Adam Kownacki had a run where I'm looking like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Charles Martin win, knocking out Gerald Washington, taking care of Spilka too, which was a Polish thing. It was big for Poland. And the way he took out Spilka, it was, behind Deontay Wilder, the next best thing, because he dominated Spilka. Spilka was in the Wilder fight until he got flatlined. But in that fight, he wasn't at all, and he had a run, a real good run, beat some guys with 1 loss and stuff like that. So, I was like, then that fight, his last win was that Chris Arreola win. But it was like, okay, Arreola was in that fight. But they threw the most punches ever. And Adam Kownacki was in another fight where he threw so many punches. So I was like, punch resistance and punch output. Maybe not the best head movement, maybe not the best skill, but damn it, you can hit me, and I'm going to definitely throw punches all day at you. That's an issue. I was even like, okay, Wilder, handle your other stuff. I don't want you messing with him, until you have to. Right? That's how much respect I was giving Adam Kownacki. Because I didn't think nobody was going to break that chin. Boom. What happened? He was undefeated. Just ran into Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius has those ups and downs. The good wins and the bad losses. You know what I'm saying? He's been stopped. I think, who stopped either Chisora or Dillian White. Somebody stopped Helenius, you know what I'm saying? Gerald Washington stopped him recently. But then again, boom. What does he do? He beats Kownacki, knocks him out in the first fight in a surprise, and then beat him again in the second fight. Kownacki got 2 losses. Then he comes to fight on the weekend. I don't even know the guy, man. I ain't going to act like I know him. Who he lost to this weekend, right? I ain't going to watch the fight. I just know he lost, and he got outpointed, which is like 3 losses in a row, and you in trouble. Now he's talking about basically retiring. 1 more fight, and then I'm going to go and get out of here. That's what can happen, especially when you get one guy that got your number, and you go back and fight him again, and after that your confidence is lost, and the people who fighting you aren't scared of you no more. That's that Steffi Graf syndrome. People don't know nothing about that. If you're young, you don't know nothing about Steffi Graf. That was the Mike Tyson of tennis in them 80s and early 90s, right? Till a girl named Monica Seles came. And it's similar. They break that aura, and then the other ones that she was beating all the other times, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario and Gabriela Sabatini, Yana Novotny and them girls, yeah, then they started coming back. Zena Garrison and Lori McNeil and them. But that was after Monica Seles beat her. Until then she was Mike Tyson. So that happens. Your aura, they saw you got beat. So bottom line, Kownacki gonna have a problem. That's probably it for him. 1 more fight and he's up out of here, unless he does something spectacular. 3 losses in a row can be detrimental. And that's somebody we thought, could get a championship fight real soon. And listen, I had Kownacki definitely beaten another guy I'm going to talk about later in this video. That's at the time, because of difference in, punch resistance. We'll just leave it at that. But another one, y'all remember the takeover? Now they probably call him the fake over. The takeover, lightweight division. The baddest one out there. Beat you up and then do the flip on you after the fight. You know what I mean? Teofimo Lopez, undefeated, beat Vasily Lomachenko. Boom, that was his thing. That's it. Took over. But what he did is he embraced that franchise title to not fight Devin Haney. And most people paid attention to that. Mainstream media didn't do it. They tried to call him undisputed. But we saw him act that way with a fresh belt that didn't mean nothing. That wasn't even a belt. We was, that was some weird behavior for him not to just say, you know what, you got a belt, I'm going to beat you so I can make sure I'm undisputed. He didn't play it like that. Did everything in his power, waited and everything for Kambosos. Similar like Gennady Golovkin did for Murata. We're just going to wait until it's you. I don't care what everybody else is talking about, right? I'm going to fight Kambosos. So I suppose who wouldn't fight in front of 60,000 people in Australia? Then come to find out they didn't even do that. But he did that instead of fighting Devin Haney. Lost. Right? Lost the fight, definitely. Say he didn't, but coming back to fight an obscure person. Right? I'm not going, Ali, Erkan, Demirizan, or something like that. Do you know the guy? Nope. That's who he's coming back to fight at 140, the weight that he's more comfortable at. There's a lot of stuff at 140 he could possibly be doing, but he's not. Right? Takeover, they messed around and became the fake over. And now ain't nobody paying attention to him. And even in his comeback fight, ain't nobody going to be paying attention to him. Right? Obscurity until he fights somebody hard and then we don't know anymore what's going to happen anymore, right? We don't know. See? That's how fat. On top of the world. You got to act right when you're there. Another guy's Jose Benavidez. Not too bad stuff. Nobody thought Jose Benavidez was going to be the baddest one, but he was an undefeated fighter until he fought Terrence Crawford. Right? He's a big welterweight. We're thinking, well, shoot, he's going to go up to 154. He ain't going to have no weight issues and nothing. This guy's going to be good. His leg is healed perfectly, and we gave him a good chance against Danny Garcia. But he didn't look that good. He looked okay. He's still tough. But what is he going to do? Because you couldn't say losing weight hampered you no more. No more excuses. Right? So now that's 2 losses in a row. Right? Oh, not 2 losses in a row. He had a win in between. But that aura, what is Jose Benavidez going to do? Mess around and be a gatekeeper if you don't, that's how quick it can go. You know what I mean? That's how quick that stuff can go. Now, let's get to the main guy. Anthony Joshua. On top of the world, like Canelo style, we had telling people they can't get no money when they fight us. We fighting in England all the time. I'm the biggest star in boxing, and I'm the biggest draw. Which, in England, he is. But in America, when he fought Povetkin, 17,000 people ordered the Povetkin fight over the zone. 17,000 in all of America. I didn't say like one corner of Los Angeles. All of America. 17,000 people, so the interest wasn't there in America. But in Britain, you filling up Wembley Stadium, back off of the dude, right? So Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua, some people thought he was also the best heavyweight, though. You remember those conversations? The best heavyweight. So now the best heavyweight is an underdog against a little old dude Usyk, right? Well, they don't know how to make him come fight him. Hey man, you gonna fight Usyk? You better. Hey, Andre Ward told him, better lose some weight. Lose them muscles, man, so you can be quicker, so you can throw those punches and the blood won't rush your muscles and everything. You got to be quicker when you fight Usyk. It seems, but Joshua wanted to bulk up, right? And speaking of Andre Ward, little bitty Andre Ward wanted to come up to fight Joshua, not Wilder or something like that, but he thought he could beat Joshua. That's interesting, isn't it? But back to the point. I think Joshua going to put on some weight so he can, he's got his new trainer, Robert Garcia, and he wants to come in there and probably manhandle Alexander Usyk. The thing I have about that is this. Joe Joyce, right? Joe Joyce is a big juggernaut of a guy. That's what he tried to do. It was only 5-6 rounds when they fought with Usyk, but Usyk won. But the difference with Joyce and Joshua is Joyce got a granite chin. I don't know if Joshua gonna want to go up there and make too many mistakes, right? I don't know if he wants to go in there and make too many mistakes because he was getting caught by stuff and was hurt in the first fight. Now, I'm going to say this, and I will continue to say this. Joshua would touch Usyk, and he could hurt him. Now I'm telling you, he touched Usyk and he could hurt him. And I did a video about a month and a half ago telling you, every time Usyk has been hurt, somebody got to go to the body, right? That's what you're gonna do. If you're gonna hurt Usyk, hit him in the body. That's what he's been hurting in every fight. So that's what Joshua can do. Now, as far as all the muscles and stuff that he's doing, all the muscles, Frank Warren probably said it best. You can't put muscles on chins. You know, so that's what's the deal. The issue gonna be with Anthony Joshua. Is he gonna what is he gonna do? You know, because either way it's gonna be hard. Are you gonna try to outbox Usyk? I'm not sure that's gonna work. Are you gonna try to manhandle Usyk? I'm not quite sure that's gonna hurt because you don't really have the chin for that. Now, what Joshua can do is just this. I tell you what, whatever the fight gonna be, it ain't gonna last longer than 3 rounds, me or you. If he really came out with that attitude, then he could probably just get him up out of there and just almost get knocked out himself, but get him on out of there. You know, that's probably what you're going to do. Let's see what happens, man. I'm just saying, you know, these kind of fighters, what I mentioned, Kownacki, AJ, Teofimo Lopez, Jose Benavidez, and the likes, you know, to a lesser extent, Canelo Alvarez messing around lose to Gennady Golovkin. But, you know, you can go from the top to all the way to the bottom, and then you're going to start thinking about those fights that you didn't take against those major guys. I'm not going to mention them to just darken up the video, but y'all know what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about AJ, you know what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about Canelo, you know what I'm talking about. There's fights you could have had, should have had against significant guys, and whatever the outcome would be, somebody was going to be awesome, and you could have had about a rematch or a trilogy by now. But whatever. We'll see. We're not hoping nothing bad on these guys at all. But if things go like they possibly can, obscurity is going to be lurking for some of these cats that used to think they were on the top of the mountain. Doing Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.